Chapter 6: The Road to Reality: Rebuilding Self-Trust and Cognitive Clarity. Healing from gaslighting-induced confusion and self-doubt. Gaslighting is one of the most destructive forms of psychological manipulation. It doesn't just alter the way victims perceive others, it erodes their perception of themselves. Gaslighting creates a fog of confusion that clouds judgment, makes victims question their memories, and ultimately leads to a loss of self-trust. Over time, those affected begin doubting not only their sanity, but also their basic ability to navigate the world and their relationships. This chapter is dedicated to understanding how individuals can regain their cognitive clarity and rebuild self-trust after being manipulated. We will explore the therapeutic strategies, including cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and mindfulness, that help victims recover from this psychological distortion and regain control of their perceptions. The cognitive and emotional toll of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse where the manipulator deliberately distorts reality to make the victim question their own perceptions. It's a slow, gradual process where the manipulator may repeatedly deny events, dismiss the victim's emotions, or accuse them of being overly sensitive or irrational. Over time, this constant undermining of reality can lead to a state of confusion, self-doubt, and cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance occurs when there is a conflict between the victim's own perception of reality and the manipulator's false narrative. The victim's thoughts, feelings, and experiences contradict the manipulator's version of events, leaving the victim to feel uncertain, questioning their own memory and eventually their sanity. This confusion is amplified by the manipulator's consistent denial and the emotional highs and lows they create, making it difficult for the victim to discern truth from manipulation. In the case of gaslighting, the psychological manipulation is so subtle and insidious that victims often feel disoriented and lost. They may experience emotional dysregulation and a deep sense of powerlessness. The manipulator's behavior makes the victim feel as if they are the problem, fostering feelings of guilt, shame, and confusion. This is why breaking free from gaslighting is a significant psychological challenge. It doesn't just require escaping a toxic person, but also unraveling the distortion of reality they've created. Scientific insights, CBT, and mindfulness for regaining clarity. When victims of gaslighting embark on the journey to reclaim their mental clarity, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, stands out as one of the most effective therapeutic approaches. CBT is a goal-oriented therapy that helps individuals identify, challenge, and reframe distorted thought patterns and beliefs. For gaslighting victims, it allows them to recognize the falsehoods they've internalized and begin the process of reshaping their reality. CBT helps victims by teaching them how to recognize cognitive distortions, the biased or irrational ways of thinking that the manipulator has instilled. With the help of a trained therapist, individuals can start identifying the lies they've been told and contrast them with their own experiences. This process can be liberating, as it offers victims the tools to regain control over their perceptions, reassert their reality, and dismantle the manipulator's narrative. Another incredibly effective strategy for rebuilding self-trust is mindfulness. Mindfulness practices teach individuals to observe their thoughts and feelings without judgment or attachment. In the context of gaslighting recovery, mindfulness helps victims distance themselves from the manipulator's influence, creating a space where they can begin to trust their instincts again. By cultivating awareness of their thoughts in real time, victims can better discern whether what they're thinking is a product of their own reality or a distortion caused by the manipulator's influence. Research supports the effectiveness of mindfulness in trauma recovery. Mindfulness meditation allows individuals to regain their internal sense of truth and reduce the emotional chaos that gaslighting often creates. Through mindfulness, victims learn to separate their emotions from the manipulator's manipulative tactics, allowing them to better trust their emotional responses and begin healing from the disorienting effects of manipulation. Real-world case study: John's journey to clarity. Consider the story of John, a man who had been gaslit by his partner for years. John's partner consistently dismissed his emotions and distorted his memory, frequently telling him that he was overreacting, or that his recollections were simply incorrect. John began to feel as though his perception of reality was flawed, and over time, he lost confidence in his own mind. It wasn't until John entered therapy and began practicing mindfulness that he began to regain his sense of clarity. Through CBT, John learned how to identify the manipulative behaviors his partner used. He was able to analyze the situations where his memory was called into question and realized that his perceptions were accurate. He also began to understand the cognitive distortions that had been implanted by his partner's lies, helping him differentiate between his genuine experiences and the false narratives created by his partner. Mindfulness played a crucial role in John's recovery. By practicing mindfulness meditation, he learned to observe his thoughts and feelings without judgment. Over time, he could recognize when he was being triggered by his partner's manipulations and felt empowered to respond from a place of clarity, not confusion. This newfound awareness allowed him to reclaim his trust in himself, and as his sense of reality strengthened, he became more capable of making decisions that aligned with his authentic self. Practical takeaways: exercises to restore confidence in one's perceptions and decisions. Recovering from gaslighting is a journey that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. While therapy can provide essential support, individuals can also engage in various self-help strategies to accelerate healing and rebuild self-trust. Below are several practical exercises designed to help victims restore their confidence in their perceptions and decision-making abilities. 1. Reality checking through journaling. A powerful tool for restoring clarity is reality checking. Victims of gaslighting often benefit from keeping a journal to document their experiences and emotions. This practice allows them to record events and their reactions, helping them verify their reality and notice any inconsistencies in the manipulator's narrative. Writing down memories, feelings, and observations can serve as a concrete record that helps the victim track patterns of manipulation. By reviewing these journals, individuals can identify manipulative tactics and gain confidence in their own perceptions. This technique offers victims a sense of validation and can provide a clear contrast between reality and the distorted version presented by the manipulator. 2. Daily affirmations for self-trust. Gaslighting often leads victims to internalize negative beliefs about themselves, including doubts about their sanity or self-worth. Affirmations can help counteract these destructive thought patterns. By repeating positive, supportive statements such as, "I trust my thoughts and feelings," or "I am entitled to my own perception of reality," individuals can begin to rebuild their self-confidence. Affirmations work by reprogramming the subconscious mind, gradually replacing self-doubt with self-assurance. This practice can be a powerful tool for victims who struggle with negative self-talk and need to remind themselves of their inherent worth and validity. 3. Mindfulness meditation to regain awareness. Mindfulness meditation encourages individuals to observe their thoughts, emotions, and sensations non-judgmentally. This practice helps gaslighting victims separate their authentic thoughts from the manipulator's distorted narrative. Mindfulness is a way to become more attuned to one's inner voice and develop the ability to differentiate between what is real and what has been imposed by external influences. By practicing mindfulness, victims can regain a sense of clarity and control over their emotions. Over time, this practice helps reduce confusion and strengthens the ability to trust one's perceptions, fostering emotional resilience in the face of manipulation. 4. Therapeutic techniques for rebuilding self-trust. Engaging in therapies such as CBT or EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing can significantly help gaslighting victims process the trauma caused by manipulation. CBT helps individuals recognize and reframe distorted thoughts, while EMDR helps process traumatic memories and emotions in a safe, supportive environment. Both therapies enable victims to heal from the psychological harm of gaslighting and rebuild their self-trust. A therapist can also help individuals recognize the underlying emotional wounds that make them vulnerable to manipulation, providing them with the tools to break free from toxic cycles and regain clarity. 5. Boundary setting to reinforce self-assurance. Establishing and maintaining boundaries is a critical aspect of rebuilding self-trust. When gaslit individuals reinforce their boundaries, whether by saying no to manipulative behaviors, asserting their needs, or limiting contact with the manipulator, they reaffirm their right to control their own reality. Being firm and setting boundaries reinforces a belief that they are worthy of respect and that their perceptions are valid. Conclusion: reclaiming reality and trust. Gaslighting psychological effects can leave individuals feeling lost, confused, and unsure of themselves. However, through dedicated self-work, therapeutic strategies, and a strong commitment to rebuilding self-trust, it is entirely possible to regain clarity and restore confidence in one's perceptions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, and practical exercises like journaling and affirmations are powerful tools for overcoming the confusion created by gaslighting. By confronting the distortion of reality and reaffirming their own sense of truth, victims can break free from the manipulation and begin to rebuild their emotional strength. In the next chapter, we will explore how to move forward from manipulation, embrace healing, and build a life that is grounded in authenticity and self-empowerment. Stay strong and trust in your journey back to reality. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. Also, drop a comment below to share your thoughts or experiences. We look forward to hearing your opinions for a deeper discussion.